What's up, everybody? Welcome to TB3U University Season 2, Episode 5, the best college football podcast in the nation, ranked number 1 in the AP poll and the coaches poll. I'm Will. This is Colby and Joel. So happy to be back with you talking college football, our favorite sport, and talk about the South Florida Bulls entering American Conference play this Friday night, 7 p.m. against Charlotte.
Don't say AAC or Sword of the Eagle will come get you in your sleep is what I'm saying. American Conference play this Friday night. USF heads into their 3-1. We also got you covered with a stunning Florida State loss heading into maybe one of the biggest games of the entire college football season this Saturday night. And then Florida. Is this a get-back game against the Texas Longhorns Saturday, or is this a get-fired game for Billy Napier? We will see. But if you are right here, I want you guys to do one thing. If you enjoy this type of content, subscribe to our channel. We got college football content. We got pro sports content. We got the whole shebang. Like the video. Comment your thoughts below on the South Florida Bulls, on the Florida Gators, on the Florida State Seminoles, or just on college football in general, because we love college football. And if you are here and you're like, man, I wonder what these guys think about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we have you covered. TB3 episode 100. You heard that right. A big episode, some big cameos of maybe things we wear. Anyways,
it's gonna be a celebration. It's gonna be for many reasons.
A celebration, not because the Bucs won, but because the Bucs will win. Who knows?
We have new ownership. We're celebrating for that.
That's true. New ownership. But yeah, if you are thinking, hey, I like pro sports in Tampa Bay, Rays, Bucs, head over there. But right now we're talking college, Lightning, but they're in preseason. Anyways, we can't get off topic. College football, South Florida Bulls. Joel, what are your thoughts about the Bulls heading into conference play?
I mean, they're looking good so far. Like, I know that sometimes conference play can be a little bit harder for them than other games, but I mean, they've given me every reason to believe so far. So, I mean, it's Charlotte. Like, you don't ever want to look down on a team, but I mean, this is tempting being Charlotte. So let's see what happens. I have a good feeling going into Friday.
You don't want to ever look down on a team, but if there was ever a team to look down on, it would be the Charlotte 49ers.
It's tempting, but I mean, even still.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I do know that this team has struggled in the Big 2025. First-year head coach for Charlotte, Tim Albin, comes from the MAC. We love some MACtion around here. He comes from the University of Ohio, not Ohio State, the University of Ohio, the Bobcats. He is in his first year with Charlotte, and they're 1-3. Some pretty staggering statistics. Charlotte is averaging 10.3 points per game this season. A pretty low number. That's 132nd in the country. They also are outside the top 120 in scoring offense, total offense, turnover margin, and red zone efficiency. This season, Charlotte has rushed for 1.9 yards per carry. Been a struggle on offense. Defense has not been much better. You look at their defensive stats. They're allowing 195 rushing yards per game, 27.3 points per game, and opponents are averaging 413 yards a game against Charlotte. So been a struggle. One of the only teams to lose to Belichick and his 21-year-old girlfriend. But yeah, Charlotte has struggled. What are you looking for in the Bulls in this matchup, Will?
Yeah, just to go back, I got to get this out there. We're talking about Tim Albin here. This is 2024 MAC champion. Coach Tim Albin. He's been a long-time assistant and then head coach for the Ohio Bobcats. And I think, stuff has not gone right. They've got a lot of injuries, primarily at quarterback. Connor Hale got hurt versus Rice. So we're going to see Duke transfer, Grayson Loftus. So a lot of things haven't gone wrong, but this guy is a winner. Their head coach is a winner. He knows how to build winning programs, and he certainly did that at Ohio. And Coach Goller said it too in the midweek presser, talking about you watch the film from this Charlotte team and compared to the Ohio team from last year, it's the same. Gritty, tough, guys flying around to the football, great execution on special teams. So you never want to overlook opponent, and I don't think you can for Charlotte. Despite the injuries, this team, they're hungry for a win. You never want to go up against a team that's hungry for a win, especially, first year coach. He wants to get that monkey off his back, that first FBS win. So USF has to stay locked in, especially with the bye week, having a lot of time off. But that's what Coach Gold said. They're locked in. One thing I'm looking for in this game. Sorry, that was a big warm up there. Had to get that out there though.
It's good.
I think the thing that sticks out to me, they're 119th in the nation out of 136 teams. Because you're saying too. I mean, you're saying 125, 130. I mean, that's out of 136 teams. So they're bottom of the barrel in a lot of stuff. But yeah, they're 119th in passing yards allowed. So I think that's, I think we're going to look and see a lot of big plays. Chaz Nimrod, Christian Neptune, Byron Brown, and they're going to build their chemistry. So I think that's one thing I'm looking for too is South Florida utilizing that pass game, building that up. And I think that's a big thing for me. I think, yeah, you said on defense, I mean, that's really what you got to do is you shouldn't have a hard time stopping the run game. 88.3 rush yards per game, which is 131 out of 136. I mean, bottom of the barrel stuff here, guys. But Grayson Loftus, you only have two quarters of film on this guy, and I think what they're going to try to do on offense is go after his wide receivers, Jai Mason and Javen Nicholas. They've both had pretty solid seasons for Ohio so far, or for Charlotte so far this year. So I think it's going to be a lot on the DBs. I think you're going to shut down the run, so they're gonna have to go for the pass. You're probably going to be up big. So it's on the secondary. Can we shut down the pass as well?
Yeah, I think something that I found interesting in Alex Golish's midweek presser was he actually compared this Charlotte team and Coach Tim Albin. He has a lot of respect for him. He said he's been a fan of him since he kind of excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. Since he's been I think he said a GA.
Well, he's a MAC legend himself at Northern Illinois.
Yes, which is so. Back to So this guy's been around, like you said, 2-time MAC Coach of the Year as well, MAC champion. He's been around. But what I found interesting is Alex Golish actually compared this year's Charlotte team to the South Florida team that he took over in 2023. And I think what we know from that team is they got better during the course of the year. It was a tough start. It was the Western Kentucky game, then Alabama. Some tough games to start. And some tough games in the middle, but as the season progressed, that team got better and better under a new coach as the players learned the system, as some younger players started to emerge. So I think we could see this with the Charlotte team as they kind of get better as the season progresses. I think Tim Albin has a track record of a good coach. I think he will have Charlotte in a pretty good spot. But right now, we can only go off 4 games, and the 4 games is not a great sample size. It is not a great sample size, and I do think that Charlotte should USF, you mentioned the passing game. I did want to mention something, a couple things actually, and I'll get you guys' thoughts on this. But Byron Brown. So Byron Brown this season, he has 1,006 passing yards and 166 rushing yards. So Byron Brown, he's averaging 13.5 yards per completion. That is the best in Byron Brown's career by far. And he actually has 9 completions of 30 yards or more this season. The explosive game has been impressive. And I think there's kind of a correlation with this, because another thing that Alex Golish said at his midweek presser was that, quote unquote, Joel Gordon, the offensive coordinator, has quote unquote been taking charge of the play calling, which implies that Joel Gordon has been calling more of the plays this season. And I think there's been a considerable difference. I think we can see some of the wrinkles that Joel Gordon, wow, it's hard for me to say that, has provided this team. And also USF this past offseason, this past offseason hired a co-offensive coordinator, Cody Burns, and Alex Golish says he's been helping out in the passing game. And I think we've seen that stuff come to fruition on the field. Will, have you seen a difference in the play calling this year with USF?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think, you're definitely seeing the passing game utilized more. And, I think it's just a lot smoother. I think the tempo has worked out a lot better too. I mean, it's kind of hard to say definitively because of how many games we had with Bryce Archie. What had to, what did they have to do last year with Bryce that he, to play or to call plays within his ability. So I think obviously, it looks a lot better, but that's also, take it with a grain of salt. That is with Bryce Archie for most of the year last year.
I think last year they used up tempo a lot. I think this year they have balanced it out more, like you're saying.
Yeah, they've tried to slow it down a little bit.
They have
talked about it, but
yeah, and I think they've used the short passing game better this year, a lot better actually. I think there's been a considerable effort for USF to get the running game going. They struggled the first 3 games, averaging 95 yards per game. Rushed for over 200 against South Carolina State. But when the rushing game was not working, in prior years, it was kind of just that's it for the USF offense. If the run game's not working, you just try until you can finally get something to break through, or maybe you get a lucky long pass. Whereas this year, they've had more wrinkles, whether it's a screen game, whether it's a short passing game, whether it's, more quarterback run with Byron Brown when they've needed it. That is, I think those wrinkles have been a really, really nice touch. And I think that does come from, a new voice in the offensive play calling room, or more of a voice from Joel Gordon, or a newer voice from Cody Burns.
Yeah, I like how they've schemed up the screens a lot more this year, too. I think a lot of times last year it was tough. It would get blown up. The blocks wouldn't be there. But I think this year that's been a lot sharper, and especially when they need something like that to kind of be an extension of your run game when it hasn't really been there this season.
Yeah, and then, we know defensively this is, backup quarterback, an offense that was struggling for Charlotte in the first place. I think this is a game that the USF defense should feast in. Mac Harris, Jalen Schuler, they're both top 25 nationally, averaging 9 tackles per game. Mac Harris is sitting at an 84 PFF grade on the season, one of the best out of all linebackers in the country. And just, I've been really, really excited what I've seen from this USF defense. Trayvon Mitchell, I feel like has been playing really, really good. The West Florida transfer, had a over 90 PFF grade, his first career sack against South Carolina State 2 weeks ago. And then I think, you look at the corners, James Chenault, Deshaun Rucker, Jarvis Lee, those guys have been good. I think this is a game where USF should feast. Coach Gola said their goal is to get 3 turnovers a game. They got 2 last week. They were feeling, or they're averaging 2 right now a game. I think they could get 3 or 4 this week. I think this is a game the USF defense will dominate.
Well, yeah, Charlotte is -7 in the turnover ratio, so we're hoping to see some turnovers there. Dude, the spread's crazy for this game. USF's favorite over 27.5.
Yeah,
crazy.
But I think that's fair. I mean,
it is, it is.
We've seen in the Golesh era, one thing about the Golesh era that is consistent is when USF overmatches an opponent, they beat down on them.
When they win big.
They win big. There's really has not been many close games in the Golesh era. I think there's only 1 or 2.
Bowl game, Hawaii Bowl.
I think I think there really hasn't been many close losses either. I think there's like 1 or 2. Bam.
2 years ago.
Wasn't that a 2 score though?
By the end? I mean, it was 14.
But it was like, it was 10-3.
It was garbage time. But
it was 10-3, and they just decided they had to make it look a little pretty and, scoring garbage time.
Yeah, no, but it is like, when a USF overmatches an opponent, they pour it on. USF, they're killing people in the third quarter, just absolutely, bum rushing them in the third quarter. That's been impressive to watch. I really think this is another game where I think USF's going to be able to win big at home, which is nice. Or do you have something to say?
Oh, I'm just saying Cartavius Norton revenge game.
Yeah.
And, what a way to get your running game going, starting the American play here, beating up on your former team.
I like it. Want to see those guys get going. We saw him rip off a couple big runs. We saw Nakai Davenport get his first career touchdown. We saw Sam Franklin get involved. So that was fun to watch last game. We want to see the rushing game continue to be a focal point of the offense. What I was going to say is you want to win big this game because you're going to be playing in style this week. I don't know if you guys saw, but the Robo Bowl is coming back. It's Flashback Friday at Raymond James. We got Robo Bowl, gold helmets, green jerseys, gold pants. This might be the best uniform combination USF can throw out there.
It's so good.
It's cool. I am a sucker for full throwbacks. Like the block.
You say that as you're wearing a current Bulls hat.
Okay, yeah, but that's irrelevant. Like,
it's like I prefer, but
so you want the black?
Well, I just want like the block numbers. The just make them look a little more throwbacky if you're going with the throwback helmet.
No, I like this one because this one, it's like they could like tomorrow be like, all right, this is the new official, and I'd be like, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I don't mind a modern throwback. Sometimes they make me mad, like when the Atlanta Braves did their City Connect jerseys with like the blue, but it was like those stunk. But like these are cool. Like I like USF's current colors so much, and I like the whole like gold helmets with the black logo. Like I get it has nostalgia. I get that's how they started.
Well, no, I like the Robo Bowl. I'm just saying match the old jerseys too with them.
Yeah. No, but wasn't that black lettering or
it was like black outline and like gold, but it was like block numbers with it.
I don't know. I am a very big fan. I think this might be the best uniform combination they can field out there.
That's fair.
I think the biggest part of this game is rust. Is it rust or rest? Like we're just gonna have to see about that. So I'll be curious first quarter because we've struggled in the first half point wise. So maybe this is the rest we needed and we can get out and score some points.
Yeah, USF's been outscored 24-10 in the first quarter. All Tampa Bay teams suck in the first quarter. We'll get to that in the other episode, but all Tampa Bay teams suck in the first quarter. Rust versus rest is important. Alex Golesh preaches, day by day, game by game. And you're really going to see how the process of USF is tested coming out of a bye week against an opponent that doesn't really strike fear into you.
Mm-hmm.
The only question is, does USF cover today or on Friday?
Dude, I mean, I think like, again, I'm not saying 27.5 is crazy because like I think it's going to be a close game or anything, but it is kind of crazy because that's a huge gap, especially, you're considering maybe, by the third quarter, they're putting in backups and, the Charlotte kind of gets a boost. But, I'll say they will. I say they will.
I think the Bulls cover. I think they cover.
It'll be close. I think they'll just be just under.
Just under. I think USF wins by 40 plus. Is that crazy? Is that ridiculous? I don't know, but I'm going to say 40 plus.
I'm going to say like 28. Wait, is it 27? It's going to be like 24.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think that, I think USF wins big. I really do. And I hope they do because I want them to be revved up for their game next week against North Texas because that'll be a tough one. So USF, Friday night, Raymond James Stadium. Come support the boys. They're going to have throwback theme all evening at Raymond James. I'm sure it's going to be a very, very fun time. But 7 p.m. Friday night, ESPN2, national TV, the Bulls open conference play. Also, just saying, USF, for if you guys don't know, has never made a conference championship appearance. This could be the team that changes that. This could be the start of history. You want to go out and support your USF Bulls, baby. All right. We have to go to the loser of the Sunshine State Championship in 2024. The Florida State Seminoles, the top, they're 18th ranked right now. It's Florida State Seminoles coming off a tough loss on a Friday night in Charlottesville.
Oh, that hurts so much. Like I know you need to build your words up, but so I'll just start. I haven't felt pain like that in a long time. Like that. I mean, there's still a little bit of hurt in my heart. Like, I mean, the nice thing is a lot of the undefeated teams lost last week. So like, I mean, like there's still a little bit of a chance, Like,
yeah, I mean, there's still a chance, but your season could end this Saturday, which is the worst part. When in reality, you take care of business in Charlottesville, and then this week it's kind of like whatever's. Clearly you can get blown out 63-10, and still be in the hunt if you're in the Big Ten. But ACC, they're just seen as such a lesser conference. This really hurts them because I think you go 10-2. There's going to be a 9-3 SEC school that passes you by. There's just going to be that school there, especially after last year with Alabama. They're crying about, we deserve to get in over SMU, and SMU looks bad against Penn State. Fuels the fire, this and that. But no, if you listen to the show last week, maybe I jinxed them. I don't know, but I said I don't see them losing. I don't see them being a trap game because I don't believe necessarily in trap games. Like, again, how much are you really looking ahead at another team? Like, you still have to prepare. You're still locked in on whoever you play, you have to travel, this and that. So I don't think you can necessarily say you're looking ahead. I just think, and you know, on one side of the ball, you didn't even play that bad either. Like, you really should have won this game. You put up 38 points on offense. There's nothing wrong on that side. And on defense, it should have been one. You should have won on the defensive side of the ball. And even sitting here, you know, who am I? You know, it wouldn't take a genius to figure out how to stop Virginia on Friday night. And I think that's the thing that frustrated me the most about this game is Tony White's defense. There's just no adjustments made, no adjustments. And Virginia was running the ball very well, 220 yards on the ground. But the thing that bugged me so much is the quarterback for Virginia obviously was not good. He was terrible. He was lofting balls into the air, going deep, threw 3 interceptions, banged up his hand on a play. But you go throughout the game, and Florida State continually rushed forward, did not load the box. And just a frustratingly, I'm just screaming at the TV because it's like I'm looking at the linebackers and they're so far back. Everybody's playing back, and it's like, what are you guys doing? This guy cannot throw the ball on you. He's proven that he can. He's thrown picks, and it was like they were so scared about getting beat over top when it's like, you're getting killed in the box. You got to load the box. You got to go 5 down. You got to stack those linebackers, get them close. Even when they line up, in their gap, sometimes they can break off and this and that, at least look like you're going to blitz or fill the box, but just no adjustment whatsoever. And that was the most frustrating part, because I think you do that, you shut down the run game and you would have won that game, but you didn't. You just played back. You played your base defense. And this was some of the things that bothered me so much last year with Adam Fuller. It was the same thing. It was just the same 4 guys going out there. They couldn't stop the run no matter who they played, and there was no adjustments made. And that's why he was fired. And you think this year, okay, it's going to be better. Tony White comes in. He's going to run a little bit better defense. He's from Nebraska, the Big Ten. All they do is run the ball there. There's no explosiveness. There's no big plays. It's just ground and pound, running the ball. And you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. And you lost a game that you really shouldn't have. Your offense did fine. Like I said, 40 points. But if your defense could just come up with one stop in the second half, you win that game easily. Turnovers didn't help in the first half either. But, to say maybe I jinxed them, maybe I did. But I still think, I didn't believe it was a trap game. I still didn't think it was. They just did not make any adjustments on defense, and that's what killed them.
Do you think part of the loss was just it being a Friday night game, like just the disadvantage that is too?
I don't know.
That shouldn't affect you.
It shouldn't affect you. Yeah. Like, even, it's not like, Virginia was pretty riled up, but from everything I saw, it was like 60% full for most of that game. Like, they did not even like Virginia fans showed up, they were blowing up like the storming the field part at the end. But from all eyewitness accounts, it really wasn't that like loud or,
it's still Virginia.
Environment. It's Virginia. Yeah, exactly.
You're Florida State. You've played in much tougher environments.
Yeah, so I don't think so. I just think you had a bad game plan. I think a lot of times coaches do that. You just go in and you see a team like that, and you just go, "We're going to play our game. We're just gonna bully them. We're going to out physical them, out talent them." But you have to make adjustments. Especially when that team they're fired up to play you. So.
Yeah, and I think the short week thing, I don't think that can be a valid excuse. It's not like in the NFL when you go from a Sunday to a Thursday night game and you have the crazy short week. Like, this is a Saturday to a Friday. It's 1 day difference than normal. I know it's a road game. I think the biggest factor in it being a quote unquote trap game is obviously it being the week before the Miami game. Maybe you get caught looking ahead. But again, this is a team full of veterans. This is a team full of veterans. This is a team full of, a former head coach on offense, a current head coach, a head coach or a defensive coordinator that has been linked to being, a head coach, a very experienced staff, a very experienced team with a lot of players that have played a lot of games in college football. You can't allow that to happen. You can't lose to an inferior team like that. And my question for FSU's defense is like, what is it? Who are you? Are you the team that was flying around and jamming FSU up at the line and blowing it up and making it life hell for an Alabama offense that looks pretty freaking good at this point? Or are you the team that just let Virginia just run the ball down the field and 7 for 13 on third down, 2 for 2 on fourth down? Like, the reason they were doing that was third and short, fourth and short, third and manageable. If you can run the ball in early downs, you can have success. And there was really no disruption from Florida State. They got the turnovers, and I get, and the turnovers were good, and obviously the early turnovers and the slow start hurt FSU. But at the end of the day, it was tied at halftime, correct?
Mm-hmm.
If you are tied at halftime at a team and a team's trying to upset you, you have weathered the storm. If you are tied at halftime in an upset bid, you have weathered the storm. You have the talent. You are the better team. You should put your foot down. But USF or FSU did not put their foot down in the second half. Their defense did not play the caliber that I saw against Alabama. And that's what cost them. I think their offense is darn good. I think their offense can probably score with almost anyone. Scoring 70 against FCS teams, 30 on Alabama, 38 against Virginia. Like, the offense is darn good, but if you can't get stops, that puts a lot of pressure on that offense.
Yeah, again, this isn't the Big 12. 38 points should win you a ball game in the ACC and really any other conference. And that's the most frustrating part too is. With the defense, you knew it was coming. You knew they were going to run the ball. I mean, you look at the second half, I think there was like 2 stretches where they ran it like 10 times in a row.
Yeah.
And you knew what was coming, and you just didn't do anything special. You didn't do anything to stop it. And once again, I just don't know why. Like, seriously, why didn't you do anything?
And I will say, Will, I agree with you on the scheme. Like, I totally see the linebackers and not making adjustments. The tackling was piss poor. The
tackling was terrible.
The tackling was terrible. I mean, some of the worst tackling I've seen in a long time by FSU, just letting people bounce off, falling forward for 3-4 yards. Like, that goes on the players, and that goes on the defense. Did not play with the veracity that I saw them playing against Alabama. And you can't do that. We talk about, USF and Alex Golesh, consistency, not playing up and down every single week, but, building a program that is based on consistency. And I think the highs are very, very high under Mike Norvell, but Mike Norvell right now has not proven that his program breeds consistency. You look at the 2023 theme when everyone's bought in. You have a an undefeated regular season, and then you look at last year's team. It goes to about the lowest of the lows, and then you even see it on the micro level from game to game in this year, where the team is up and down. And I think that really is a reflection of Mike Norvell. I know he's done a lot of good, but I do think that his teams do not breed consistency, and I think that is a problem for Florida State.
That's fair.
So do we want to move to next week?
Yeah. I think I've said my piece on that.
Yeah.
It really wasn't that. I mean, I think it really came down to just not being able to stop the run and not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
Because I truly think, I don't know if I think you probably agree too. You make some adjustments to stop the run, and they couldn't have. Their offense would have been obsolete because he couldn't throw the ball.
They weren't chucking
that guy
the ball
could not
around,
throw the ball at all.
No, absolutely. And he threw some bad interceptions.
Yeah, he was just chucking it. And then he got the injured hand. It's like, they're not going to throw it. They're just not going to.
Absolutely.
And just nothing. Just playing back. We're going to play back. You just watch it from the snap. The linebackers are dropping back or, 6 or 7 yards off the ball. Like, you got to fill the box, man. That's all they're going to do.
And even to your point about the defensive adjustments, I think I saw at least 3 times on a third or fourth down, Virginia ran that same crosser play on man-to-man coverage. And it's like, that's the same exact play. You have to adjust. You have to adjust. And that goes to the coaching staff.
Inside zone, crossers, and then QB keeper when they got inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah.
That was it. Those are all offense. And you couldn't stop that 3 plays.
And your FSU spent a lot of money on coordinators. You got to do better than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't blame people because I think he is a lock for that UCLA job. And, he could get better throughout the season, but man, that's just frustrating because that's a one thing you wanted him to do different was make adjustments. I used to think Adam Fuller was one of the best DCs in the game. You look at Florida State in 2023, in the second half, they were allowing 4.3 points a game the entire regular season. 4.3 points a game, or points a half in the second half. And then you look at 2024 and you go, man, maybe it was because they had NFL players across the board, NFL players who are, making impacts on their team right now. Jared Verse, Fisk,
Jerry
Tatum
Jones.
Bethune. Yeah, Jerry and Jones, Renardo Green. Maybe it was that.
Yeah.
Maybe it was that.
Maybe it was that. But I'll tell you what, you win this week, people are going to forget this loss really existed.
You win this week. It still stinks, but I would go as far to say that that's completely forgivable.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Forgotten. You win this game. Who cares about Virginia?
Yeah.
Who cares?
I completely agree. And we've seen Miami multiple times.
Too many times.
I'm kind of sick of them.
Well, it's kind of funny now, because Florida had a couple games against them. USF did. Play Miami every year. But now it's like, now I'm seeing them 3 weeks in a row since we've done this
I'm
stuff.
sick of those
It's
guys.
crazy, yeah.
I'm sick of those guys, but we've seen them a lot. We've seen Florida State. Will, what is your number one key for Florida State in this game?
Yeah, well, I think it was the same as USF. It was the same as Florida. You gotta put pressure on Carson Beck. And again, if you don't make adjustments, if you don't at least make it challenging for them to run the ball, they'll kill you. Miami will destroy Florida State. And they're going to want to too. They didn't get the satisfaction that much last year. Florida State was bad. They're 2-10. You have Cam Ward throwing his iPad on the sideline. They want to make an example out of this Seminoles team, especially at Doak. So they're coming to play. And you have to control the line of scrimmage on the defensive line. You got to make it tough for Fletcher running the ball. And again, the Gators showed you get pressure on Carson Beck, and I think it's obvious. You get pressure on that guy, and he'll start throwing the ball right to the defense, just right at him, like a magnet. USF, Gators, do the same thing. Florida State, you get pressure on him, he'll make mistakes. He definitely will. I think for the offense too, one thing we've seen is utilizing that deep ball. I think Miami has some holes in the secondary. You got Squirrel White with his playmaking abilities. Deuce Robinson, hold on to the ball, brother. Lil Wayne McCoy comes back after an injury. He's someone they've been really high on.
I'm out of bounds.
Do the 6'7" out of bounds, man.
I mean, they could have given it to us.
Yeah, I think.
I was trying to remember if that was that game or the Bucks because they both were heartbreaking.
Yeah, the thing that bothers me about that with like replay and catches, you have 2 whole steps of him with control of the ball, right? When he catches the ball. And then the next frame when he's out of bounds, he just takes his right hand off for a second to kind of tuck it in. And it's like, well, you have 2 full steps of control and then like a frame of him without control. And it's like, okay, no catch. I just think it just gets a little too
sometimes it's just the eye test. It's like, looks good to the eye.
Yeah, you just break it down a little too much sometimes. And it's probably a little bias in that, but I do think with some of these replays and stuff, you're just taking it a little too far. Yeah.
And then we got the look inside the ACC control room.
That's pretty nice. I like that.
Every conference, every game up to the NFL should have that.
Yeah,
it really should.
What was the XFL had like the dude with the Xbox controller?
Dude, he was awesome. Yeah, the Sky Cam or something, the Air Cam, whatever they had, and he's got this Xbox controller. Yeah, you want transparency because you get stuff like with the Bucks the last 2 weeks,
Dude.
And there's no explanation, and none of them are held accountable. None of them are held accountable. They just go to the next game.
And I've heard it said, it's like, especially now with sports betting, it's like you gotta be transparent. Like it's like, is that a ref betting the game?
Yeah, seriously. It can't hurt. It can't hurt. That's league's number one threat to their watchability is people thinking it's rigged. So you've got to be transparent.
Yeah, I'm believing it more and more by the week.
Dude, I'm about to put on the tinfoil hat next.
Oh, I look forward to that.
I'm about to put it on because it's just getting a little ridiculous in the NFL. But we're talking college football.
I do want to. Okay, I want to go back to Florida State, Miami. I want to go back to your point of Miami wanting to make an example of Florida State. They wanted to do the darn same thing to Florida, and they did it in a sense, but I don't really think they did the type of example they wanted to.
Yeah, when you're beating up on a bad team, it doesn't hit as good, and I think we saw that last year.
Yeah, and that's true, and also, yeah, and you beat them 26-7, and it could have easily been a game that, I mean, Florida, the whole third quarter.
They really were one play away from tying it, especially when they scored and got the interception.
Exactly. So my point is, in both these games, USF, Florida, Miami gets the ball. In their first possession, they go right down the field and they score. And that's part of their, setting the tone, and they're going to want to do it on the road. And Miami has not played a road game yet. They have not left Hard Rock Stadium, their terrible environment at Hard Rock Stadium yet. They're going to go to a stadium that actually has people that show up to games, win or lose, a stadium that has fans that get loud, stuff like that. So it's going to be different for them. And I know they have a lot of experience. Some of those guys have played at Doak before. Carson Beck, he's played in the SEC. He's going to have a lot of experience. But this team specifically has not been out of their home stadium. So that's a big example. And you don't want to let them throw that first punch. So for Florida State, I think the biggest key in this game, coming off a loss, is stopping Miami on their first possession. Like, I cannot stress it enough. Florida State, Tony White, throw something exotic, throw some blitzes, whatever you have to do.
Blitz.
Something like that, because you cannot let Miami go on a 10-play, 75-yard drive that takes 5 minutes and take the air out of your building. You can't let that happen, and if you don't let that happen, you're going to be in a really good spot, because I don't think Miami, flip it over to the FSU's offense, I don't think Miami has seen a running scheme anything like this Florida State. And I don't think there's many running schemes like this Florida State running scheme, with the zone, with the quarterback, with the threat of Micah Danzy. Like, that is they
get Roydell Williams back this week too, so they have a full healthy running back.
Yeah, they got a plethora of solid running backs. And this running attack is going to be different. It's going to test this Miami defensive line with their gaps, with their discipline. And they have an aggressive defensive line. I think there's some opportunity for some big plays with those ends kind of rushing up and finding lanes. So I think for that, I think FSU will be able to move the ball and score on Miami. Will they be playing from behind? Because if Florida State is playing from behind, then it's going to be a long, long day for them.
Yeah, I saw this Miami scholar on Twitter, a highly educated scholar, say that if Florida State wants to beat Miami, they're going to have to outscore them.
Oh, wow. That's
genius.
I've never heard anything like that before.
I mean,
Miami's best and brightest.
You hear like Yogi Berra say something like that, and we're like, he's a genius. So maybe he is.
You got to outscore your opponent if you want to win this game.
Genius stuff. All right. Are we ready to predict?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go first. I don't like either one of these teams. I'll go on record. I'm sick of this Miami crap. I have a lovely girlfriend who is a Florida State alumni, and for this reason, I'll be rooting for Florida State. So my heart's with the Noles this Saturday. Normally with the Noles.
My heart was with the Gators, whatever Saturday that was.
When they played Miami.
Hey,
all right.
I mean, look at that. What is it? Your second favorite team is whatever's
the
playing
enemy of my enemy is
like,
my friend.
It's like the gang picture. They're holding up the
bandana. Yes. So I put it on the record. I'm rooting for Florida State. I will also put on the record, I think Miami's going to win. I'll take the Canes 38-28.
I'm going to go a little bit bigger in the differential. I'm going to go Canes 31, Gators 20. Or sorry, Seminoles 23.
Score of the Bucks game.
Hey, maybe 2 times in a row. They were supposed to 22, right?
The Bucks were 25.
It was a weird.
Oh yeah, the safety.
Let's say the safety made it weird.
Come on, man. I picked plenty of games the Seminoles for the Seminoles to win last year, going 2-10. You think I'm gonna not pick them this week? No chance. I'm not picking them this week. I think, if it was a trap game, you overlooked Virginia. Well, go out and prove it, man. Go out and prove it. This is your matchup. This is big. 7:30 p.m. prime time. ABC. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit on the call. Doak's going to be rocking. And I think shout out the the dang Gators, I think they showed at this Miami team isn't as good as people are thinking. And I think this is going to be a tough game for Miami. I think this is the best offensive line they've seen. I think the defense is going to figure it out. And I think it's going to be a close one. I think Florida State wins 21-19. Florida State 21, Miami 19. A thriller, a close game, duking it out, throwing haymakers. But the Seminoles get the win in Doak Campbell Stadium.
All right. Your 2024 Sunshine State champions. I don't think they're going to keep that title for much longer.
But enjoy while it lasts.
I will enjoy it while it lasts. The Florida Gators come off a bye week. My favorite thing about the Florida Gators season is the bye week because you can't watch them lose. But unfortunately, they're back in action, back in the swamp. 2 straight road games for them. The last time they were in the swamp, they actually got knocked off by the Bulls. They will be hosting the Texas Longhorns. A pretty highly anticipated matchup if we were looking at it preseason, but now we look at this matchup and it's like we're going to be watching a mid-off, especially from the quarterback position. Arch Manning has struggled, had one of his better games, last week against, I think it was Sam Houston State, but Arch Manning has struggled. DJ Lagway has struggled. That is, there's no hiding that fact, but this is a make or break game. This is a game that you almost feel like Billy Napier might win and just like delay the inevitable. But number 9 coming into town. Will, what are your thoughts?
I almost think you just don't want to. Do you want to keep this guy around? I think the writing's on the wall. Just get it over with, man. Just rip the Band-Aid off. But I do think, that's just Gators fashion. They're going to find the way to win this game. I think a lot of people said, oh, Arch Manning's back. I don't necessarily think Arch Manning's a bad quarterback. I think he gets, he's got a lot of eyes on him, a lot of pressure on him with the Manning last name. But people are talking about his improvement from this, season. It's like, who's he played? Seriously, who have they played? Sam Houston? What was it? San Jose State was in there. I think maybe there's another one. Just some dog water teams, man. It's like, well, yeah, you can look great against those teams, but the way you played against Ohio State, that's something that Florida's got to look at. And I think the thing is, you have your defense. You can hang your hat on. I think they got to watch film from Ohio State and see what they were able to do to confuse Arch Manning. I think that was the biggest thing is he just looked confused and lost out there. Whatever Ohio State was doing, disguising coverage, showing blitz and stuff like that. The Gators got to do that. But I think the biggest thing for this game, it's on Lagway. This is on DJ Lagway. He talked about, this week, he says he feels like the offense is going to pop. They're going to have a breakout game. He threw a touchdown pass in practice this week, and he's doing the Cam Newton, back. Well, you got to prove it, man, because this game is on you. Your defense can win you this game. I think I'm not afraid of Texas's offense. Your defense can win you this game, but you gotta help them out. You can't turn the ball over multiple times. You can't throw 61 passing yards. You have to win this game with your arm. You have to lead this offense down the field and score some touchdowns.
Yeah, I agree. I think DJ Lagway, if he wants to be who he says he is, this is just he's going to have to step up, and I think that's going to have to come with the coaches allowing him to throw the ball down the field. But DJ Lagway, he has looked like a shell of himself. He has looked scared to throw the ball. He's looked scared. He's looked off. If he's going to want to, improve, like get a win, turn this season around, it's going to start with him. He is the leader. He is the reason why so many people were bullish, on the Gators is DJ Lagway. So you just have to see him improve this week if you want to, get a Gators win. I think it also is important to establish the run game. Jaden Baugh, they've really struggled to get him going in the LSU and in the Miami game. Had a flashes of a couple drives of a competent running game, but you're gonna have to get him going way earlier. This is a really, really good Texas defense. Shut down Ohio State week 1. Haven't had a test since. This Texas, I think it's fair to say Texas is probably the best defense Florida has played, is going to play so far. No disrespect to LSU and Miami, who have good defenses, but Texas is one of the best, if not the best, in the country. Really, really good. You just, again, it's very important. You can't turn the ball over. Like, this is a game where you're going to have a full house. You're going to have some rowdy fans, but if the game turns, that full house is going to be against you. You're going to have Gator fans booing at you. So
Fire Napier.
Yeah, fire Napier. They're going to have the offense come out the field getting booed. Like, that is stuff that very realistically can happen if Florida does not start off fast. Defensively, I do want to mention a whole lot of injuries. Aaron Gates is out. Caleb Banks is out. LJ McCray is out. Running back Jacoby Jackson's out. And cornerback Dijon Johnson is out. So, huge hit. That is 4 key starting players on your defense that is out. George Gums looks like he'll be back, which is a nice sign. A couple other people should be working their way back, but defensively, I think you can hang. Like you mentioned, the defense can win you this game. Defensively, you probably need to create a 2 or 3 turnovers if you want to feel good. You've got to give your offense some opportunities with a short field. The Gators have done a pretty good job of that. But they obviously have lost the turnover battle because their offense, because DJ Lightweight threw 5 interceptions in one game. That's what happened. So yeah, starting fast and forcing turnovers on defense is going to be my key to this game.
Win it for Napier. Like, come on. I mean, like, if he's going out, win him a couple games.
The players love Napier, and if you love Napier so much, Florida Gator players, then step up and win a game. Yeah. I don't think that's what I want to happen, but I could see Florida win this game. I really could.
I could too. I mean, I said I could have seen him win the LSU game. It really has just come down to their offense doing jack squat. Yeah. Jack squat. You could have won that LSU game. You really could have. There was no reason you shouldn't have. You threw 5 interceptions. Texas, I think, will be the same way. I think your defense can keep you in it. I think they can overcome the injuries on the defensive side of the ball.
But I think the key difference is Texas has one of the best play callers in the nation, and Steve Sarkisian.
Hey, he got what's his name? The hobo guy. Matt Patricia. Hey, we made him look silly.
Yeah, that's true. Made
him look silly.
That is true. But I think Steve Sarkisian would run laps around Billy Napier. So I think that's the big difference.
Well, it's Sark versus their defense coordinator.
I'm just saying.
He's looked pretty good.
I'm just saying we're going good defense. Quarterbacks that both aren't reaching their full potential. Some offenses that really haven't hit full stride. I'm going to take the one with the more competent play caller. That's just me. Are we ready to predict?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Joel.
Math. 31-17 Longhorns.
I could see it being really low scoring. I'm thinking I can see it being like, a 17-10 Texas win.
Yeah, I think low scoring too. I got a little higher. The score 20-17 is sticking out in my head. And it's not sticking out with orange and blue. It's sticking out with burnt orange and white. I'm going to go Texas 20-17. I think the defense is really good for Florida. They've shown a lot of heart. But I think the execution by Texas offense would just be a little bit better in the very end. But this will by no means, I don't think it will be a blowout or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, what else do we got on the docket this week?
What do we got going on? I mean, I
a lot of tears from you boys.
Yeah. We're still the best college football show in the nation. So we're going to
USF, man. We're focused on USF, and that's going well.
Yeah. It is going well.
Yeah.
It's going well. But, Thursday, tomorrow we got 0-4 Sam Houston. No, I'm kidding. Let's see here. I think probably one of the biggest games of the day, the biggest game most likely, number 16 Vanderbilt at number 10 Alabama, 3:30 ABC. I'm taking Vanderbilt, man.
Wow.
They've turned a corner. They already got a win against Alabama. I think they win. I'm taking Vandy.
I just don't think Alabama's losing twice to Vanderbilt. I think it's going to be a heck of a game, physical, grueling. I don't think Alabama's running away with anything, but I think Alabama wins.
I hate Vanderbilt so much. Like they deserve to be fired from the SEC. They have no right being in the SEC.
This is their year.
I mean, like if the SEC was like men, they're like the princess. Like get them out of the SEC. That's how much I hate Vanderbilt. Alabama's winning. I hate them.
They're good in baseball sometimes.
I mean, so am I.
Well, breaking news. TB University. Joel hates Vanderbilt.
That's crazy. I love that. All right.
This game it excites me as well. 3:30 on NBC. Boise State heads to South Bend to face the Fighting Irish. This is interesting for me. Notre Dame, huge. Okay, I'm going to get to that point in a second. I'll save that. But, this is a team. This is for South Florida to keep an eye on. You beat Boise State. How are they going to fare against a ranked opponent themselves? Big-time program. So I'm interested to see that one. I think Notre Dame wins, but I kind of want to see, what that win was in week 1 for South Florida.
I agree. I think Notre Dame wins, but Boise, they beat the tar out of Appalachian State last week. I think they're a solid team. I think that's going to be a good win for USF. I think Notre Dame wins, but I think it's close.
Yes, I'll go Notre Dame as well.
Number 24 Virginia at 4-0 Louisville at 3:30 on ESPN2.
I have never been more sure of a team losing than Virginia losing this week.
Yeah.
Louisville wins.
Yeah, they're done. They're toast.
They are not going to handle that number next to their names very well.
Yeah, Jeff Brom and Louisville, man, they've just been solid every single year. And it's kind of a fun one. At 4:00, 3-1 Michigan State at 3-1 Nebraska. Classic Big Ten matchup.
If Nebraska doesn't win this game, get rid of Patrick Mahomes' clone and fire Matt Rule. Give me Nebraska. They better win.
I like this Michigan State team with Childs. They're gritty. They're tough. Give me Michigan State in an upset.
Michigan State, please and thank you.
Here's a big one. This could be battle for Big 12 supremacy. Number 11, Texas Tech at undefeated Houston. Connor Wegman.
I'm excited for this one. I think Texas Tech's legit. I every fiber like this screams Houston win, but I think Texas Tech's legit. Give me the Red Raiders.
I'm going Houston. I like Houston. I like their offense. I think Houston is a very good team this year.
Yeah, so it's a coin flip. I'm going to go Texas Tech because I know somebody that likes Texas Tech.
All right.
There we go.
Another good one. This is kind of a test, Mississippi State on the road at number 6, Texas A&M at 7:30, SEC Network.
A&M wins pretty big.
Yeah, A&M's defense could be the best in the country.
I watched that Mississippi State game the other day. They look good.
I don't know about best defense in the country.
It's pretty darn good.
Let's not forget what Notre Dame did to them, even in a loss.
Yeah, but they held it down.
I think Auburn's offense just stinks.
Maybe.
But they are good, and their offense is good. They're a good team. A&M's a good team. I could see them easily in the SEC championship.
Man, that's it. No midnight game. We got a late game. Okay, 10:30, Duke at Cal.
Yeah, I saw that. That looks pretty good.
I love the Battle of the Nerds. Yeah. The Battle of the Nerds.
Duke's been playing good ball. Duke has been playing good. Give me Cal. Give me the algorithm.
The Communist People's Party of Cal really let me down when they got shut out by San Diego State. I think Duke has turned a corner. They got a pretty big wins against Syracuse and NC State. Maybe this Duke team has turned a corner. I think Duke's going to win this game.
I'll go Duke. Cal had a pretty bad loss against Oregon State.
San Diego State.
Okay, they beat Oregon State.
Yeah.
But Oregon State sucks. That's what I'm implying.
They do stink.
So, because of that,
they're trying out there, man. They're giving it their all.
Are they trying? I don't know. But yeah, that is TB3U, episode 5, season 2. Make sure to tune into the USF Bowls Friday night, 7 p.m. ESPN2. If you have some Friday night plans, take the fam out. Go to a USF Bowls game. Tickets are cheap. Uniforms are beautiful. It'll be nice and chilly. The weather's getting nice. It's getting way better.
Chilly.
Not chilly, but cooler.
It'll be
There'll be some good crosswind in there.
Everything feels chilly from what we've been getting, in the last month. Anyways, so check out the Bulls. Watch Florida State. Hunker down. Watch some college football this weekend. But most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on X. And yeah, have a beautiful and blessed night.